one of them needs a victory.
First frame.
Because if this is a 2-all draw, and then Kyron Wilson beats Oliver Lyons to start the evening session at 5 o'clock, well then, Wilson, after only 4 of the 6 matches in this group, will be crowned the group champion. Lots of ifs, buts and maybes there. But really, a draw here for these two. No good. One of them needs a decisive result.
And not the best start there.
Yep. Okay.
Well, great chance for Ken Doherty straight in.
One.
Yeah, plenty of options here for Ken. Wants to take one of those 2 reds closest to the left-hand corner so he can get straight onto the black.
Six.
He's shrugged it off by now, Doherty. But how he didn't get something from the Wilson match, I don't know. Well, that's one of the reasons. When he got in a couple of times, he prematurely got out.
Yeah, unfortunately for Ken though now he's slight movement in his cueing, causing him to miss straightforward shots. Just a trait of getting older, I think. I thought he'd got away with that as well though, but straightforward plant into the middle pocket and nicely on the pink for Stevens.
Now that was a really good camera shot.
Matthew Stevens one.
It illustrated that if you hit that near jaw, even at that kind of pace, the middle pocket on these tables, on these Rasson tables, will not accept the pot. And Stevens annoyed.
One.
Glorious chance this is now for Ken. The ball's at his mercy.
7. 8.
Doesn't always work like this when you've squandered one golden opportunity in a frame. Not very often do you get a second. But it's fallen to Doherty.
Wow, that just wriggled in. And I don't think he's got the best position on this next red either.
15.
Well, that was another indication, Pete, of what I'm saying. It's near jaw fearsome, far jaw friendly, this table. Although, if you hit that much of a far jaw, that wouldn't go in on a 9-ball table.
And Doherty 15.
Could be good safety though. Yeah, he's fluked to snooker.
Nice.
Well, this is Ken's third unbelievable chance. Surely he's going to make this one count. Nothing to do with the cue ball here. Lots of reds in the open.
Six.
I think the black will pot into the left-hand corner, so just a straightforward stun run through.
7.
Probably take the red closest to the right-hand corner now to free the black into both pockets.
This is their 4th meeting
15.
in the Championship League. 2 wins for Doherty so far. 1 draw back in the old days when it was a slightly different format.
22. Nice. 23.
As for head-to-heads outside of the Championship League, Stevens has got the edge by 10 victories to 8.
One of their most famous matches, Phil, I presume, was the famous 147 black miss by Ken. I remember Matthew's face
29.
when the black missed.
21 years ago, and we were talking about that, myself and Ken, maybe 20 minutes back. A beautiful car was on offer. Yeah, it was the 15th frame. He made 140. And poor old Ken, the black went astray. And Stevens won the final of the Masters 10-8.
38.
You know, the following morning, Steve Davis was taping a show called Steve Davis and Friends. It was a talk show, and Ken was one of the guests. So too was the legendary Ted Lowe. And I was there as well. And Ken came in and he was first into the chair and he said to me, it's only 9 o'clock and
45.
7 people have mentioned that black already. And I said, get used to it. But actually
46.
Ted Lowe said some wise words to Ken which soothed the situation somewhat. He basically said, look on the bright side, you'll be better known for missing that black than a lot of players who've potted blacks to make a 147.
52.
Yeah, small consolation.
Yes,
53.
because the car was worth £88,000.
Meanwhile, Ken is going to take this first frame. You don't get many frames where you miss 2 or 3 absolute sitters and still go on to win it in a canter.
58. Ken Doherty 58 and the free.
Yeah, 3 was the charm. The first 2 chances were wasted, but the third wasn't. Ken Doherty makes a break of 58. That's his 3rd half century of the day, and he leads Matthew Stevens by a frame to 0. Welcome back to the Bet Victor Championship League. We're getting close to finals day now. Just 4 more players
Second frame.
to book their place
Matthew Stevens
there.
to break.
Matthew Stevens has now got his back pressed firmly against the wall after that opening 2-all draw with Oliver Lyons. He finds himself 1-0 down to Ken Doherty. News from table 2, by the way. That's Group C over there. It's really slow going. And Nopon Sankam, who played so well in the first stage, is trying desperately to salvage a draw against Bei Lang Ning. Sankam has just won the 3rd frame. Bei, though, leads 2-1.
One.
Well, after that fluked snooker in the first frame, Peter, now he flukes that red. I heard him say sorry. That wasn't intentional.
Yeah, he's riding his luck. He's Ken at the moment.
Fine.
Yeah, I was watching some of the Nopon match in the players' room, and he was a shadow of the player that we saw in the first stage.
Well,
Ken Doherty 5.
that was appalling.
I think in cricket that's called a wide, Phil.
Ken Doherty 5.
I think in snooker it's called a wide.
Yeah. But didn't leave anything again. Certainly nothing easy. And Matthew looks a bit bewildered. I think he was playing to leave the white outside baulk for a baulk colour there, but
Yep.
screwed it back an extra 2 foot.
Well, Ryan Day was telling me yesterday that they had a new set of balls which were highly polished before the start of the group. And in his first match against Alexander Ursenbacher, both of them were screwing back ridiculous distances all over the place because the balls were so reactive.
Thank you.
Yeah, that can definitely happen.
Stevens needs to recapture some of the magic he displayed against Doherty in the last 64 of the 2019 German Masters. Won 5-2 and made in a best of 9 4 centuries.
Has anyone ever made 5 in a best of 9?
Yes. Ronnie O'Sullivan against Ali Carter at the Waterfront Hall in Belfast. So you can't get better than that. That's a record that can only be equalled, never broken.
Yeah, a little bit of trouble here, Matthew. Can't just play safe off the pack with that red sitting near the left-hand side of the table.
Just while we're in this safety impasse, Peter, Ken Doherty was telling me he'd received a player email telling him that the Turkish Masters, which was scheduled for late September, early October, has actually been rescheduled for later on in the season. And that means that David Lilley is basically in the Champion of Champions. I don't know whether he knows yet, but what a boost that is as the day goes on for him.
Oh, I'm sure he knows. But yeah, that's great news for David. Fantastic tournament, the Champion of Champions.
You have to say, everything for Stevens is conspiring against him. Everything's awkward. Doherty having a good run of the ball on more than one occasion.
Yeah, just got to ride it out though. The chances are still coming. You just got to hope it turns round.
One.
Yeah, it's been a strange day for Ken though. He's played some really nice stuff in parts, and then in other parts he's played some absolute shockers that are costing him badly. Now can he get through to this red?
4. Fine.
I think the red at the bottom of the pack is available. And this should bring a few more reds into play. Got to judge the top spin to run through the pack.
Yeah,
he's played it nicely, but is that red just below the black going to be slightly in his way? No, he's played it well, just to be able to avoid it, so turn into a pretty good chance this now for Matthew.
20. $21.
Looks
28.
like he's upped his pace a little bit as well, which is a good sign.
29.
Solitary ranking title, the 2003 UK Championship. But he made, in total, 8 ranking finals.
36.
2 UKs, 3 UKs in fact.
37.
A couple of World Championships. Apart from Jimmy White, he's come closest to winning the World Championship without actually doing so
43.
of anyone.
Yeah, it's a very surprising strike rate. Only 1 victory out of 8 in ranking finals for someone so talented.
Yeah, in deference to
44.
Stevens though, you look at the players he came up against. Every single one of those finals he was against a superstar. John Higgins, Mark Williams, Stephen Hendry, Ronnie O'Sullivan, Sean Murphy, Neil Robertson and Mark Allen.
Yeah, I get what you're saying, Phil, but I mean,
51.
for me, Matthew is in that category of player. You know, if he'd have turned 4 or 5 of those into victories, who knows what he could have won, especially the World Finals.
52.
He's a player's player, Matthew Stevens. Go into the backstage area of a tournament and ask the other guys about him, and they will all say he's got a really classy game, and that's because he has.
59.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, he's just been a superb player for years. You know, at his best, he was magnificent to watch as well. And a great lad, very popular on the circuit. Well, just as he was getting near winning the frame,
Matthew Stevens, 59.
he's missed a sitter. Luckily for him, 5 of the remaining 6 reds are all in awkward positions. So he's still a big favourite to take this frame. I think I'm right in saying that Ken's of the same mould. He's lost a lot more finals than he's won.
I'll put a number on that in just a second.
Don't watch me this, just take the 5 points to try and reduce the arrears slightly, give myself a little bit more leeway. But 48 behind, only
6.
67 left, so Matthew Stevens firmly in the driving seat at the moment this frame. Yeah, Ken's just tried to get the red out there for safety, but moved it from one cushion to another.
6.
Yeah, Doherty has been in 17 world ranking event finals and won 6.
Well, that's way too thick. I'm not sure if that rolled off slightly or just a misjudgment, but it's certainly thrown Ken a lifeline. Love to Clip this in and possibly get an angle on the blue to disturb these reds.
1.
No. Probably just fire straight down into the 3 reds on the cushion, hoping he lands on the 1 in the open at the very worst.
This, Peter, is a shot that could transform the whole frame. It could have done, but it didn't.
Yeah, it's not the
6.
end yet though. If this red does still clip, one good shot. I don't think he likes it though, but I thought that might clip.
And Doherty 6.
Now Matthew needs to catch this wafer thin, not to disturb all these balls. Yeah, good shot. And kiss the green safe slightly. Ken will be just hoping to get this one wafer thin as well now to return the compliment. Which he hasn't, so needs the cover, and I think he's got it, judging by Matthew's slow walk to the table.
Doherty's stock in trade when he was right at the top of the game was pinching frames and breaking the heart of opponents by doing so.
Yeah, that was a
1.
very slack shot from Matthew Stevens last time out. Just, you know, obviously was a little frustrated at not being able to see that red, but didn't give it much thought whatsoever. Now if Ken can screw into these 2 reds, one of them should end up over the pocket. Well, that couldn't have possibly finished any worse.
8.
Surely he's not going for the pot, is he? Or is he?
Well, can he hit the red hard enough, even if he judges the potting angle correctly?
He's in a spot of bother though if he can't, because he can't afford to leave a shot of that red sticking out. So maybe he is having a go at it.
It wasn't quite as thin as it looked. Still a great shot though, and what
9.
What a kiss. In keeping with the rest of the form in this match so far, Doherty having more than his share, and that's an understatement.
9.
Oof. I wasn't convinced that was going in, but what a golden opportunity now for Ken.
50.
I think if Ken clears these,
16.
Matthew Stevens races run, I think he's just playing for places then. You just get the feeling though there could be one more twist with the shots that Ken's missed today so far.
And on cue, there is the twist.
90.
Surely he hasn't got exactly the right angle to still pot this red.
20.
If you see him in the street, folks, asking for 6 numbers, they might come out on Saturday night. Well, at least the
$10
yellow
20.
squirms away from the jaws. It was a tough pot. Had it gone in, then the frame would have been very much at his mercy. Doherty 22 adrift. That means he needs all 6 colours. As for Stevens, he just needs yellow and green.
Yeah, just wondering if you can get past the blue to pot this yellow. Judging by the fact that he's looking to see if the green pots, I think he can. Yeah, that's superb judgment. Ken got to hit this and get it safe, but the way Ken's been going, he's probably thinking, which pocket shall I pot it in?
Luck, though, is finite.
Yeah, got to be careful here though, Matthew. You know, if the table drifts off slightly, you could quite easily catch this too thin, so got to try and keep it on line with a little bit of drag at the bottom of the white. And in doing so, he's run away slightly for the green.
And look at this tantalising scoreboard for Stevens. 24 ahead, 25 on.
Yeah, and doesn't like using the rest, so look how much cue he's got overhanging here. Could do with David Grace playing this one for him.
Foul.
Oh my word.
Matthew Stevens 2.
The last time I saw a couple of frames like this was in the Gibraltar Open semi-final when Matt Selt was cursed against Judd Trump. Unbelievable.
Matthew Stevens.
I've seen it and I don't believe it.
So Doherty needs the 5 colours to take a 2-0 lead and to leave Matthew Stevens shaking his head.
Three. Thank you. 7.
Well, this couldn't be any more straightforward.
Stevens sitting there thinking, did I really walk onto that ladder, or was it a dream?
$80. $25. I'm afraid.
Simply extraordinary. Matthew Stevens pots frame ball, goes in off after a kiss with the brown, and Ken Doherty steals in to steal it on the black for a 2-0 lead. It's Sankam against Lily.
Third frame. Ken Doherty to break.
Over here, Ken Doherty and Dame Fortune have taken a 2-0 lead over Matthew Stevens.
Bring back the clock. One.
Yeah, great pot from Matthew. Must be bitterly disappointed with how that last frame finished. Still a lot of money to play for, so got to try and steal himself. Even though he probably can't qualify now. Could still finish second or third.
Five.
Have either of these two
Six.
players ever won the Championship League, Phil?
Well, it's been going since 2008, and both of them have been involved since then. In fact, their meetings in this championship go back well over a decade.
$13.
Now, I know I didn't answer your question, Peter. I'm not a politician. I'm just trying to find out the answer. Oh, but that's not the answer to Matthew Stevens' problems.
Matthew Stevens. 30. One.
Yeah,
Eight.
back for the black, needs a angle next time out. Make something happen now, disturb a few balls.
Nine.
Doesn't want to come dead straight. Yeah, come a little bit too straight, so the only option he had was to leave himself this tricky red into the left centre.
16. $70.
Yeah, played that well.
Ken Doherty isn't on the roll of honour of the Championship League, but Matthew Stevens is. He won the fourth edition of this championship in 2011, beating Sean Murphy in the final.
That looks like ending a break for Ken there, because he kissed into the red he wanted to land on, so knocked it into the pack and ended up on nothing.
And Doherty 24.
Yeah, again, a little bit fortunate from Ken. He definitely didn't play in behind the green, but it looks like he's covered all the reds in the open. Not really left Matthew a shot at anything.
Just underway, the last match of the first session today on table 2. Noppon Sankam has spotted the first couple of balls against David Lilly, as Stevens tries to extricate himself from a deep hole and does not succeed.
Yeah, absolutely no shot there, apart from trying to pot his way out of trouble and hoping for a little bit of luck. And as is usually the case, when he looks out, and just stuck 2 reds straight over the pocket for Ken.
One.
Another glorious chance.
Yes, and a 3-0 victory here, Peter, would revive Doherty's hopes of topping this group. He would still need things to go very much his own way.
Yeah, he'll definitely be cheering Oliver on in his next match against Kyron to try and get him back in the mix.
Yeah, and then Doherty plays your son in his last match of the day. So everything yet up in the air.
Seven.
This is similar to the blue he missed against Kyron Wilson in the last frame that cost him the match.
Yes, he overcut the blue, didn't he, to the opposite middle pocket, and Wilson stepped in with 92.
$13.
Yeah, not much more to do now for Ken.
$19. $20.
Doherty has twice beaten Stevens under the ultimate pressure, the biggest occasion at the World Championship. 13-8 in the last 16 in 2006, 13-10 in the
25.
quarterfinals in 1998. But back then, he didn't make the mistakes he does now.
Well, I bet he wishes he could play that blue again. That was basically get on a red there and the match was won, and this is no certainty.
26.
But a fabulous recovery.
Well, given its context, Peter, undoubtedly the best shot of the match so far.
Yeah, played it with a little bit of safety, so there's a little bit more pressure on this black than the actual red, the way he played it, but surely it's game over now. 44 in front.
33. 26.
Red, black, red.
34.
For an unlikely 3-0 victory.
Yeah, it's been a miserable outing for Matthew Stevens. Everything has conspired against him.
42.
Yeah, I'm sure Ken's lunch will be tasting a lot nicer after this than Matthew's. Yeah, it's been a strange day though for Ken, because he has played some nice stuff. He's just
49.
He's just been too many errors in amongst all the good stuff.
It's been curate's egg snooker from Doherty. Inconsistent. But it's quite possible that he could have been sitting here with 6 points out of 6. Could have beaten Wilson even though he lost 3-1.
$57.
Well, that just is the final nail in the coffin for Matthew Stevens. At least he's retaining his sense of humour.
Yeah, he was stood up then as well, had to sit back down.
And this could be really important because Wilson's high break is
64.
92. Doherty could eclipse that here.
$65.
Yeah, the indignity of that fluke. This game can fry your brain, can it?
Yeah, you've got to feel sorry
68.
for Matthew. You know, he's made a lot less mistakes than Ken in this match, and he's lost 3-0.
70.
And he's seen enough, he's ready to go.
73.
Matthew's laughing, doing a faux cough to try and take his opponent off, but this is really important.
77. $82.
When everything is totted up at the end of the day, this clearance could make the difference.
88.
A 95
95
clearance from Ken Doherty, who was extremely lucky throughout that match. But he also potted some nice balls in the end. The final score, Ken Doherty has revived his hopes of topping the group because he's beaten Matthew Stevens by 3 frames to 0.